594413 State versus Nicholas Martinez. This is a agreed plea, is that correct?
Yes, Judge.
Yes, Your Honor.
Very good. I presume, obviously, then Mr. Martinez will be testifying. Mr. Martinez, would you please raise your right hand? You solemnly swear that in this proceeding, the information and responses you submit will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. You may put your hand down. Mr. Martinez, before we proceed, I need to cover with you verbally, and it will be recorded by a court reporter, civil rights and protections that are afforded you. The first is the right to remain silent. That means you do not have to make any kind of statement. You don't have to answer questions. You don't have to submit written paperwork that has your signature, especially papers that may admit or confess to wrongdoing. You understand you have that right to remain silent?
Yes, Your Honor.
You have the right to a jury trial. That means you and your attorney and the state could select 6 people from a random panel or pool, and those 6 people would hear the evidence, testimony, materials, whatever presented to determine, they would determine whether you are proven guilty beyond reasonable doubt. You understand you have the right to a jury trial.
Yes, Your Honor.
You have the right to confront witnesses. Those are big words, meaning in a trial, if you went to trial, there would be people who would testify, present evidence. You and your attorney could cross-examine, question, or challenge any witness who would testify. The official word is confrontation of witnesses. You understand you have that right?
Yes, Your Honor.
There's also a right to appeal. That's a right that you could exercise, your attorney could exercise, or the two could exercise together. That right means that you could demand that a higher court review the official record in this proceeding, the evidence and materials presented, for whatever challenge you wanted to make. It's essentially, you'd have to follow rules and procedures and documentation. That's essentially called the right to appeal. You understand you have that right?
Yes, Your Honor.
Also, you have the right to demand that this proceeding be done in the open public courtroom. That's a process that we ordinarily have, but because of the COVID emergency, we've been doing what we call video conferencing. This is what we're doing here on the computers. You understand that you have the right to demand that, and so does the state, independent of you. They have the right to demand that public courtroom hearing.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Now, did you review the documents that will be presented to you, and did you sign those documents with the assistance and the guidance of your attorney?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Sharman, as an officer of the court, did you assist Mr. Martinez in reviewing the documentation that we're going to review and signing them with him and guiding him as he signed?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Martinez, let's start off with, there's 2 documents that are approved by you individually and the state individually. It's called consent to video conference. I told you a while ago, you have the right to demand this be done in the open courtroom, and it's not. But to do that, we got to do the video conference, and that is approved by you and signed by you. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
You saw the one signed by the state too. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, Mr. Sharman, are you satisfied that Article 39.14 in reference to discovery has been in fact complied with?
Yes, it has, Judge, and I've reviewed it all.
And you did sign it along with the state?
I did.
All right, there's a document, Mr. Martinez, that says that you have reviewed everything and that you've got discovery. They're part of this record. You've also got a document that says that you have reviewed your rights, your constitutional rights and protections. Did you review that and sign it with the guidance of your attorney?
Yes, Your Honor.
Now, you were originally charged with the offense of driving while intoxicated. Is that what the state is going to pursue?
Judge, yes, the original charge was a driving while intoxicated second, but we are waiving that enhancement and proceeding as a first.
All right. your attorney has succeeded in negotiating for you and getting you this matter of DWI second reduced to DWI first, also commonly known as DWI misdemeanor B. I need you to understand that as far as the law is concerned, you're going to have two cases behind you here that if you do a third one, you'd be looking at a felony charge or very possibly a felony charge. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Now, on the state, you have officially you discussed it now, but do you have in fact a motion to reduce this matter from DWI second to DWI first?
Judge, yes, there should be a written motion included, but I would make a verbal
Okay.
motion as well.
Well, that's part of the documentation, and the court will take notice that you have filed that motion. Mr. Sharman, any objection?
No objection, Judge.
All right, there being no objection, Mr. Martinez, you are in fact charged with DWI first. We're no longer talking about DWI second. Now, Mr. Martinez, are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. There's a document in here that I believe you reviewed with Mr. Sharman. It talks about the range of punishment. It talks about, among other things, the fact that you understand that the deal you've made, I don't have to accept it. As a judge, I'm required to say yes or no. I can say yes, I can say no. I will say yes, obviously, because I'm going to honor the agreement that you've made. But you need to understand that I don't have to do that. In fact, I can also give you a punishment greater than what you agreed to within the proper range, which is a fine $0 to $2,000 and jail from 0 days to 180 days. You understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Ms. Pollard, is this going to be a straight probation or a deferred?
It's straight probation, Judge.
All right. Now, Mr. Martinez, to the charge of DWI first. By the way, for the record, I grant the motion to reduce it to DWI first. To the charge of DWI first, how do you plead, sir?
Guilty.
Are you, did anyone threaten you, intimidate you, or promise you anything other than the actual agreement that you made in exchange for your plea of guilty?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Then I accept your plea of guilty. I find you guilty, and I assess the punishment as follows. Ms. Pollard.
Yes, Judge. The agreement is for an $850 fine plus court costs, 180 days Bexar County Jail probated over 14 months, DWI intervention, victim impact panel live, TAP evaluation, 48 community service hours, ignition interlock for half the term, and $60 restitution to DPS.
Okay, now it was 180 days probated for 14 months.
Yes, Judge.
And then what was it? Intervention?
Yes, Judge.
And then what?
Victim impact panel live.
Live, okay. 48 hours community service, ignition interlock for, this would be 7 months,
Yes, Judge.
and $60 restitution.
Yes, Judge. Also the TAP evaluation.
Yes, that's in here. All right. Then, for the record, sir, you're fined $850. By the way, what do you do for a living? I'm not looking at that document.
Currently, I just graduated a week ago. I am a full stack web developer.
Okay.
I'm currently unemployed because of COVID reasons. I didn't want to have a central job at the time, and I figured with all the time off, I would utilize that time to finish school.
Okay.
And now I'm currently looking for employment within my field.
And what do you expect? What do you expect your income to be?
I think the average that the professional development team for my school assessed last year was around 50 to 60,000 a year.
Okay. All right.
As starting off, at least.
Poor baby, huh? Well, good luck to you. I assess a fine of $850 plus court costs. You're sentenced to 180 days Bear County Jail, suspended, probated for 14 months. You are to, in good faith, enlist in or enroll in and complete the DWI intervention program. You are to participate and complete the victim impact panel live. You will perform 48 hours community service restitution. You'll have the ignition interlock installed in your vehicle for a continuous 7 months, during which time you're not to drive any other vehicle other than yours equipped with that ignition interlock. You're to pay $60 restitution. That was to SAPD, Ms. Pollard?
Judge, it was to DPS.
Okay. DPS. And your supervisory fee will be $52 a month. Questions, Mr. Martinez?
The only questions I currently have was just to confirm my acknowledgement that for those panels and stuff that I'm supposed to enroll, if I have already completed such task, if
Provide the documentation to the probation office and I will give you credit for it.
Yes, Judge, if I may, he has had an ignition interlock in his car now for 2 years. So he'll continue with that. He has no violation. He has a certificate of completion for the DWI intervention program, the DWI education class, and the victim impact panel live. Also, I'm asking that for purposes of the community service, you will allow him to pay the food bank, and he intends to do that, an amount of $350 in lieu of the community service out.
What does that calculate to by way of dollars per hour?
I don't know. What are the hours again?
48 hours community service?
$348, Your Honor.
No, that's I will not accept the 350. That's not even $10 an hour would be 480.
How much is it per hour?
It ordinarily for someone that cannot afford it, they do it like $7 an hour. I set the CSR hours donation depending upon the person's income and ability to pay. So I would do it at $12 an hour in his case, should he choose to do that. So 12 times 48, whatever that is going to be $600-700. I'll give you an exact number in just a moment. Well,
It's $576, Judge, but I will tell you that he's currently unemployed.
I understand that. I appreciate that, and I understand your advocacy for him. Damn it.
I mean, he's doing his best to estimate his income. The judge, he doesn't have any income right now.
$576 in lieu of the work. And that's at just $12 an hour, when in fact he's probably going to make a lot better than that. And I expect him to, and so does he. That'll be if he wants to do a donation in lieu thereof, it'll be at $12 an hour.
Sir. And you will give him credit for what he's already done?
I have announced that I will, and I do at this point. I will give you credit for the the intervention program is completed as far as subject to the documentation, okay?
Yes,
Because
sir.
he could be BSing you, but I don't think so. Subject to documentation, the court grants you credit for the intervention program, the DWI education program, the Victim Impact Live. And bluntly, I'm going to give you credit for the ignition interlock. If you've done 2 years without violations, I think I'll give you credit for that. Although you didn't ask for it, I think you've
Thank
shown
you
me
so much, Honor.
I think you've shown me that you're willing to do it. So you're going to straighten out and don't be doing this crap again.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Is there any objection to that, Mr. Sharman?
No objection.
All right. I'm sure the state doesn't object under the circumstances. If he's been on an ignition interlock that long, I'm not going to, take him by the neck and string him out any further. All right. Now, I will say this, the donation in lieu of CSR hours. I have a personal preference that you donate that money to what's called the Gabriel Project, but I do give you the option to do as Mr. Sharman has suggested, which is to the food bank. Your call.
Gabriel.
And you do that.
Project.
Gabriel Project, the probation office will tell you how to do that.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Ms. Luna, Maricela Luna, Mr. Martinez, you and she are going to meet on the computer here. She is what's called a court liaison officer. She's going to set you up so that you can go to the probation office. You must come into the office of County Court of Law number 5 to have your thumbprint affixed on some documents involved in this case that are required by law. You understand that?
Yes, and the person I'm about to meet is the person who's going to set that up for me.
She's going to set you up to do the probation visit and everything else. The
Okay.
community service, the conditions of probation upon which you are placed require 100% participation and adherence, obedience. She's going to set you up for that. They will read all the conditions to you. You will sign them. Is that understood?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Then good luck.